In order to be successful in a marching band, knowing how to march is an obvious must. Every section of the marching band has its own style of rest positions and ready positions, but they all have overlapping ways to rest uniformly and to march in time. When resting, the instrument is out of playing position and feet are at a 90-degree angle together with the heels touching. When marching, we often count in sets of 8, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, set being the 8th count, where we hit the destination we were heading to. We march 8 steps to 5 yards when learning to march, and remember this step size well because finding coordinates relies entirely on this step size. Now that we know how to march, we need to learn drill. To find this dot, we need to decipher the language used. Side 1 refers to the left side of the field with respect to the press box. Side 2 would be the right side. 3 steps inside the 45-yard line means that we need to take 3 8 to 5 steps toward the 50-yard line from the 45-yard line. Finally, 5 steps in front of the home hash tells us to take 5 8 to 5 steps toward the home sideline from the home hash. Starting from the rest position, the drum major gives 8 counts before starting. Wind and guard members snap implements from rest to ready position on count 5 during the count-off. On the first step, the left leg swings out while the right leg pushes off. The upper body must remain completely steady and move fluidly. By using the core as a shock absorber, playing the instrument while marching sounds even and steady as the impact of the foot does not affect the breath. When marching forward, we utilize a roll step where we hit the heel first and finish from the toes. When going into a hold, we use what's called a tendu, where instead of roll stepping the last step, we toe into the last step and slide ourselves back into rest position, with the feet back at a 90-degree angle. On count 3 after the tendu, the instrument drops back down into rest position. When marching backward, all of the principles of starting and stopping are the same, but instead of using a roll step, we must use what's called the platform of our foot. Using the platform, we lift ourselves off the ground with the support of the core, and while marching this way, it is very important to push more than seems necessary as the first step is often weaker than the others. When starting backwards, in one swift motion, we lift both feet onto the platform to begin moving backward. Unfortunately for us, no one wants to watch a marching show where everyone only moves forward or backwards, so we need a third method. In order to march sideways, wind and guard members utilize what's known as sliding, where the shoulders stay parallel to the sideline while the feet move in another direction. Starting and stopping remains the same. While marching, the feet point to the direction of travel while roll stepping. The hips point halfway between the angle of travel and the sideline, while the shoulders point to the sideline such that the horn never points away from the press box. When making a direction change into or out of sliding, or sliding in a different direction, we make a tendu step instead of a roll step. Roll stepping would cause us to round a direction change, and we want sharp direction changes. There are a number of notable differences between marching a wind instrument and marching in drumline. While wearing a harness, the hips are unable to move, so we need to develop another technique. Crabbing is where we cross the legs to move in a certain direction, allowing us to march in any direction. To crab, we get up on the platform of our feet, just as we would when marching backwards, and step off in the direction of travel with the left foot. If traveling to the left, then the right foot crosses in front of the left. If traveling to the right, then the left foot crosses in front of the right. There are a few modifications to the rule set, however. If going from rest position to crab right, we utilize a prep step, where on count 8 of the count-off, the right foot moves back just a little bit so that the left foot can cross over easier. If transitioning from forward march to a right crab, we must utilize the grapevine step so that we don't swing our left foot around over the right foot. For the grapevine, our first step right goes behind the right foot rather than in front. The second step remains the same, and the third step goes back to normal, where the left foot is in front of the right. Now that marching and dot finding are under our belts, we're one step closer to being band camp ready. Practice and memorize the music and acclimate yourself to the weather. It's gonna be a hot one.